You are probably wondering why it's apart. The blower's not on the car. And believe it or not, I'm not lying, the last video saved us 40 grand is probably like the smaller scale of that. For a real quick breakdown, 5 grand for the blower, heads would have been complete trash toast. Everything would have been completely gone, destroyed. If I hadn't made that last video, and if I hadn't had listened to myself and thought that something didn't sound right. So I can actually play the clip right here. Now, to you, that probably sounds completely normal, but I know what this should sound like when turning it over with no plugs in it. And something didn't sit with me right. I couldn't pick it. Something didn't sit with me right. So literally at work the other day, I had my YouTube browser open after that video had been uploaded the previous day. And like once or twice an hour, I would literally come back to that 10 seconds of when I'm turning it over and I'd just be playing over my head. Can I hear something? Is there something there? But what I've learned so far with this car and most cars, if there is enough of something to have any sense of doubt, there's something there. If there's anything at all to give you some sliver of doubt, there's something there and you should act on it. So yesterday we came over and like came into the shed and I pretty much just pulled the plugs again, got Indy to sit in the car and she just sat on the starter. She just held it. Now we didn't film any of this because I don't know why we didn't film any of this. Yeah, so I'm a bad YouTuber. I didn't film pulling all this apart and looking at it. But as I'm sitting around, I'm going like, have we bent a rod? Have we bent a rod and it's I don't know, the piston's dragging in the bore or the rings are dragging or it sounded like something rubbing. I was like, I know the box is slightly overfilled, which I've now taken the fluid out, but I'm like, have we, I don't know, balloon the converter and it's pushing on the crank and the crank's rubbing and or we're rubbing bearings or has a bearing spun and it's rubbing or I couldn't figure out what it was. And obviously by myself, I can't hear it. So Indy sat in the car, she hit the starter, and just listening around the engine, it sounded mint, sounded perfect, sounded great. Everything was amazing, it was great. I could definitely still hear this rubbing noise. So I'm sticking my head around and I go, that's kind of coming from the blower a little bit. And I lean over, open the hat, stick my ear to it, and I can hear it. Like, now if you come closer, if I just spin this by hand,
the intrusive thought.
Don't stick your finger in. But like, it does just sound like it's turning over, but from the front casing, like, that's it trying to create boost, you can hear the air escaping, but like, there's an ever so slight rubbing noise, and I could hear it coming from the blower. Tim immediately, because he was working on his Nugget, because none of our cars are ever reliable, immediately goes, check the eyeglass, check the little spyglass on the front. I'm like, oh, idiot, why wouldn't have I thought that? Check it. She empty. That no good. She empty. So my thoughts in my head are pretty much that we're spinning this little girl so freaking hard that it's breathing so heavy, it's pushing its inside, like it's pushing the fluid out. I've already cleaned it up, but when I lifted the blower off yesterday, the manifold was full of all the oil. Now, since day dot, it's always kind of done this. After a skid, you'll see around the seal, like around the lip of the blower, you'll see a tiny bit of oil. Like literally, you'll just see that there's some there. These back holes in the manifold, like most of the time have oil in it. It's always done that. But I guess one of those learning curve things, I definitely should have been on top of the maintenance and checking its levels. But I think that we've caught this at the absolute perfect time. The blower still turns over smooth as. Now, some people are probably like, that looks like it turns over too easy. It's because it's just cast rotors, no Teflon strips, and it's well broken in. So this is pretty much like as good as this little guy gets. Well, not little, it's crazy when it's out of the car how freaking big it is. But the actual gearing in the front housing that everything goes to, she's been run a little dry. It still is so smooth, so nice. I think we've caught this at the perfect time. I called Aaron and I was like, should I just fill it up with oil and go send, or should I bring it into you? And he's like, just to be sure, bring it in, we'll pull it down, have a look at it, put some new seals in it anyways, because it's been 2 years of getting thrashed on. And yeah, but literally, if this kept going, it's just friction city. Luckily, methanol contributes to the fact of keeping it cool, but this thing would have just gotten to the point at 7,000 RPM that it would have locked up, probably would have sheared some rotors. It literally would have broken these rotors up, shot them straight through the manifold into the heads, which would then just go straight into the engine. And this, if not properly looked at, or I don't know, if we had not seen this, or I had looked past it, this very well could have not just hurt our engine, turned everything into complete junk. Now, I guess this is just part of the learning curve of cars, and I'm so glad that my regular routine maintenance worked, because that's what caught this. If I wasn't doing maintenance, I would have just kept going, and it would have happened. It would have let go, whatever. So this is why you do maintenance, and this is like now, literally, all we probably have to do is a couple seals, and away we go, some fresh oil in it, and keep on top of it now. It'll now be one of our regular maintenance things. Now, I'm sweating like a freaking pig. It is so freaking hot in here. I can see Indy dripping behind the camera.
That sounds so bad.
But I really want to make a video coming on here. A lot of people always, whenever we have any kind of issue with this car, a lot of people are like, cars build shit, you can't build a car, this is shit, the car sucks. It's like, no. Everything in this car is custom. When you have custom, you have issues. The car is highly strung. It's only ever running on it's either idling or running on ragged edge. Shit fails, shit breaks. That is race cars. That's just what it is. Because normally in the burnout scene, you don't hear about it, you don't see it, people don't talk about it. People like me and Granger and a few others, we're the only transparent ones. When we break something, when we fuck up, when something goes wrong, we love to share it and document it. That doesn't mean that anything is horribly wrong or anyone's to blame. It's just that this happens. All this stuff kind of happens. And we are, like I said, thankfully for our routine maintenance that we do after every event, we caught this early, which is awesome because like I said, without it, we would have been on the sidelines for a very long time. But yeah, so I don't know how long at Power Cruise it would have been running lower on fluid, but like it was still running perfect. When the car was running, you can't feel anything. We literally just caught it because I know what the engine should sound like when the plugs are out of it and it's got no compression and everything. But yeah, so at Power Cruise it still would have been fun. And luckily, a massive side of it being on methanol is it would have kept it cool. If it was starting to build a bit of friction, that could have been the saving grace, being on methanol. Speaking of Power Cruise, Miss Hollywood over here. Now, I'm not the only one that gets photos with legends at events. Indy is now taken multiple photos at events, and she's got her own fan club, which is so freaking cool.
Hi, Katie.
We actually have her photo, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay, just to put her like on the spot, I'm gonna put her photo up too with Indy. But it's so freaking cool when I turn around and there's people like actually taking photos with Indy. I love it. It's so freaking good. Yeah, as you can see, hat off. That'll sit in here kind of thing for now. And, oh yeah, I need to get a grub screw for that. At the beginning of Power Cruise, the screw just backed itself out of that. And it fell down into the ether somewhere. So I've got to track that because the whole weekend I was shifting with it like that. And it just was uncomfortable and weird. But yeah, Miss Famous Hollywood. Oh, alrighty guys, it is freaking hot. So I think we're going to get out of here. You want to go? All right, see you guys. There's nothing that we got in common. I've been out grinding and hustling, investing this paper. Got tired of eating that ramen. All of my music be heat. I ain't missing a beat. I've been blessed with impeccable